Right. I know it's October, but the crowd seems a little cold. Do you guys want to give yourselves a round of applause right now? Alright, that's still cold, but we'll work on that. My name is Kelly Sutton. I'm here tonight to talk to you about nerd stuff. If you didn't catch me last time, I'm wearing a website on my sweatshirt. How many people do you know wear websites on their sweatshirts? One. Thank you, Jordan. All right, we'll do a little question-answer session just to get things started off here. How many people here have a Macintosh computer? Raise your hands, raise them high. It's dark, I can't see. Okay, so that's a good majority. Okay. How many of you guys bought that Macintosh computer or got it as a gift and then Apple came out with a new model right after that? Yeah! Okay, so not as much angst. One more question, let's keep it political here since the election is a mere 6 days away. But they say you should never directly ask someone about their political views, so I'm going to use some code words. How many people here are going to be voting for Barack Obama? Okay, and how many people here are going to be voting for Mon-Jacane? Okay. No one's feelings got hurt, but it's clear that someone is going to be the winner. All right, let's get into it here. Okay, so I was reading Wikipedia yesterday for fun. And I was reading Steve Jobs' Wikipedia article, of all people. I wonder why. And I came across something, and Steve Jobs said in an interview, and I quote, "Acid is probably one of the 2 or 3 most important things I've ever done in my adult life." There are only 2 people in the world who can get away with saying that. Steve Jobs and Jimi Hendrix. That man is amazing. Okay, I'm a computer science major. How many people can name where the computer science building is on campus? We actually have a building. 1, 2, 3. 3 people. It's behind Pereira. If you don't know where Pereira is, it's down there. We're behind them. They say computer science is the most advanced thing man has invented to this point in history. Which is kind of amazing when you think about it. It's also extremely frustrating. I spent a lot of time on homework. I've already spent 2 hours in the computer lab today. I'm going to go be spending another 6 after this to work on an assignment. So I spent a lot of time in the computer science lab. And when you're like writing code, when you're writing a program, okay, you'll be writing and you'll be writing, and something won't work. And usually when something doesn't work, type in the code, hit enter, and you get this thing that says segmentation fault. You're like, well, what the flip does that mean? I don't know what a segmentation fault is. So what you do, what most computer programmers do, is they just leave little comments in there for themselves. So the program will print out stuff, okay? But at this point, you're extremely frustrated. So I will say, I'll be writing my program, and I'll be like, okay, this part of the program, write out son of a bitch. A little bit further down, write out cocksucker. Is that okay? Okay. And so, to debug this program, I type in the code, type in the command, hit enter, and then I see which curse word it gets to. It's like, okay, so it got to son of a bitch, but it didn't quite get to cocksucker this time. Back to the drawing board. But it's always frightening because these things that I'm writing, I have to eventually hand into my professor, okay? So imagine you're writing a paper, okay? Let's bring it back into normal world here. So imagine you're writing a paper, okay? Professor gets your paper, says, Oh, John Smith, very nice. Very nice MLA, properly formatted cover page. Cocksucker. It's the life of a computer science student. It's not glamorous. Speaking of not glamorous, are you guys familiar with the command line? It's like what you see in movies when people are like typing in, and it's like, and it's just like black and white text. Yes, yes, okay. Well, the real command line is not glamorous, okay? In movies, it's usually like, it's time to use the computer, and by computer I mean spaceship. Let's strap in, and they like type in a command, put their helmets on, and then like away they go, like into the computer, searching for files, riding light bikes, I don't know. I wish my major was like that. Like, I mean, it's like you type in a command, and it's just like, oh, dude, am I on acid? Is that Steve Jobs? Is that Jimi Hendrix? I don't know. This is awesome. Speaking of computers and spaceships, well, how often do you get to start off a conversation like that? But speaking of computers and spaceships, what if Apple invented a spaceship? Think about it. Steve Jobs gets up there and he's like, today I'm going to introduce to you the Apple Macwing. It's complete with proton torpedoes, an old man that talks to you in your head, and an R2 unit that only communicates and beeps, but you can still understand him, and everyone will give him a standing ovation. Okay, last one for you. So I've been reading The Loyal One regularly, and every once in a while, I'd say on the frequency of like, maybe like every like 4th issue, I'll see an opinion section. Or an opinion section, there's always an opinion section there. I'll see an article in the opinion section, there we go. And it will say, technology is ruining my life. Technology is so much overhead to my life. I can't handle all this technology. I mean, like electricity. First it was electricity, then it was computers, and now it's the internet. I can't handle this. I'm like, well, okay, I can understand that. Like, yeah, you spend like checking Facebook, MySpace, Dig, Google. Okay, so you might be wasting a little bit of your time. It might be like causing some stress because you can't do your homework. But if you think about it like this, you might think a little differently, okay? At one point in time, many millennia ago, the alphabet was the most advanced technology known to man, okay? Now, what if back in the day, someone was like, you know what? Technology is causing me too much stress. Specifically, the letter Z is causing me way too much stress. I'm going to completely eliminate the letter Z from my life. And it was that way for a little while. You know, the zebra didn't come along until after the horse. People couldn't use words like Zamboni. I mean, that was only invented a few decades ago, actually. So you can see the repercussions of thinking like this throughout history, when people just forget about letters for extended periods of time. It's very atrocious. But tying everything back together that I've talked about so far, I don't know how well you guys have been like paying attention to the political campaigns here, but I gotta say, regardless of who you're voting for, Barack Obama knows how to use the internet. I mean, he has a Twitter account, he's got a Facebook page, I mean, he's everywhere. He streams every single event live on the internet, like, just like sit there and watch him in a little video, I do at least. It's like amazing, like this guy either knows a lot about technology or he hired people that know a lot about technology. So Barack Obama has like a Facebook page, and then I'm like, okay, so what does John McCain have? John McCain has a MySpace page, so it's like, okay, John, you're a little behind the times here. It's like, well, John McCain still uses the telephone. He doesn't know what Skype is, and it's like, oh, okay. Then I'm like, well, let's see what George Bush is doing. And I realized that George Bush is still having trouble grasping the English alphabet. Thank you very much, everybody.